Yesterday we have discussed the course content and then the software layers and then this introduction to the Snowflake. So yesterday we have completed three topics. So today we are going to discuss about the Snowflake architecture. If time support, I'm going to discuss how to register the Snowflake, the pricing things related to Snowflake. So by today I try to complete the Snowflake introduction part. Okay. Yeah. Let me start today's class. So, as discussed yesterday, Snowflake, in simple terms, how we can define the Snowflake? In simple terms, we can define Snowflake as a cloud platform, SaaS native, and then data platform. So these are the 3 points we have highlighted. Now we'll zoom into the Snowflake and how the Snowflake will work, how they process the data and everything. Okay. So Snowflake architecture is very simple. It has three layers. Okay. One is storage layer, one is processing layer, and the third one is cloud service layer. Okay. So we'll go one by one layer. Okay. Okay. Before that, most of the databases either they follow shared disk or share nothing architecture, which means okay, there will be single database. Okay, and to process the queries, right, we need a VMs, nothing but virtual machines, or we can call it as a servers. Okay, so if any company, if there is a application, right, either they follow shared disk or shared nothing. What exactly mean by shared disk or shared nothing? Okay, assume there are four users. Okay, so they are executing some query on a same table. Okay, assume they are executing some query. So here what will happen for the each user, each VM will be allocated and all these VMs will be connected to the single storage layer or single database. This we call it as shared disk architecture. What is shared nothing architecture? Okay, so this is a server. Okay, sorry, this is an environment. Okay, where we have a multiple storage layers. Okay, and if a user execute any query. Okay, so now what will happen? So there will be a each VM for the each database or storage unit. Okay, now if I execute some query, right, for what will happen? So whenever I execute the query, this VM will check is there that particular records are available in this database or not, or this storage unit or not. If the records are not available here, it will check in the next database. If the here, if the details are not here, it will check another, like that. Okay, data will be shared in multiple storage units and these VMs will be allocated to the each database. This we call it as shared nothing. So when it comes to Snowflake will follow both shared nothing and shared disk and shared nothing architecture, which means all the VMs are connected to single storage unit. Okay, whenever I execute any query, right, to execute that query for each user, each VM will be allocated. So Snowflake is following both shared disk and shared nothing architecture. Okay, so we'll zoom into this thing, into the Snowflake thing. Let me start with this cloud service layer. So what are the features that cloud services is providing? Okay, before that you need to understand, okay, this storage layer and these VMs are provided by third party cloud platform. When you are registering your account, right, at that time you choose either AWS, Azure or GCP, whatever the account you have chosen, those VMs, those cloud related VMs or those cloud related storage units are used by Snowflake. Here, Snowflake will only manage this cloud service layer. Remaining will be taken care by cloud provider. Okay. Let me zoom into the cloud services. What are the services they are providing? Snowflake is providing means first, authentication and access control, infrastructure management, transaction management, metadata management, query optimization, parsing and optimization, and the last one is security. So we'll discuss one thing. Okay, let me start with authentication and access control. Okay, So, so there is a root. So I have registered Snowflake account. Okay, I got my root user access. So now I have created one developer thing. Okay, so I have created a role, and I have created a user role. Okay, now that particular person, for example, I have created a username Pawan. Now this Pawan can access everything in the Snowflake. No, it's like a whenever I have created a user, it's like a temporary access, which means which means let me show it here. Assume this is a Snowflake account and this is a database I have, and I'm a user created by the root user. Whenever Snowflake account, we will register Snowflake account, right? So we will create a root user. Now with the help with the by using root user, I have created a username Pawan. Now Pawan can access anything in the Snowflake? No. He can access just a Snowflake account. He cannot access everything in the Snowflake. He can just access this Snowflake account. He cannot access any objects in the Snowflake. He just got the entry. Getting it right? Now, now this root user need to provide access on this particular object. Then only Pawan can access this object. If he don't have the access on the particular object, he cannot access anything. He can just access only the Snowflake account. He cannot access any of the objects. It's like providing a temporary card. Okay, you got a temporary card. So you are joining newly. You will get some temporary card. With the temporary card, can you access all the floors? No. Okay. Now, once you have meet the HR and are requested for working in the office, then the HR will provide you a limited access to one particular floor or particular room, right? You can access only that particular floor or a room. In the similar way, whatever the access that a root user will provide on particular objects, those objects only can be accessed by the user. Okay, so this is the thing that Snowflake is taking care about. So what Snowflake is taking care? Authentication and access control. So what are the type of access that we need to provide to a user, and whether the user is a perfect user or not to log into the Snowflake account. These things will be taken care by Snowflake. Second, infrastructure management. So to process any query, okay, to process any query, we need an infrastructure, right? Infrastructure, nothing but a virtual warehouse, nothing but a server. We required uh, to process the query. If the query is taking too long than expected, then we need to do the scaling. Nothing means increasing the server from 16 GB to 32 GB or 64 GB. The scaling part, assigning the virtual warehouse, scaling part, networking setup, storage on AWS S3, cloud resource optimization. All these things will be taken care by Snowflake. Next, query parsing and optimization. As highlighted yesterday, okay, whenever I execute a query, a bad query, okay, so first Snowflake, what it will do, it will check the syntax. Syntax checking is done to verify correctness of SQL syntax. Next, execution plan as to how to execute that particular query. I need to scan the entire table, or I can pick it from the storage layer or cache layer. Okay. Next, resource allocation. How many VMs we require to process that query. The execution plan is then passed on the query processing layer for execution. Once everything is done everything is properly planned, then only the query will get executed. Okay, so all these things will be taken care by Snowflake. And the last one is security. By default, whenever I'm inserting the data will get encrypted in the form of AE256. Okay, it uses AE256 method for encryption. Along with that, it is providing what we call the policy, nothing but data masking policy, row level policy. So, and you can security layer encrypted data using TLS. And here they use what we call the key generated rotation storage detection. So security managed encryption keys used to secure data. They includes key generations, rotation, storage, and destinations. So there is a concept called rekeying in the Snowflake. Okay. So every time the keys will change, the encryption keys will change so that no user can access any of the files. Okay, security maintain detailed logs of user activities, including login, data access, query execution, and modification. These logs are essential for auditing and forensic investigation in the event of security incident. So, what are the users are logging with their accounts? All the login details, what are the queries they are executing, everything will be tracked in the form of logs. Okay, monitors these platforms are suspicious activity, potential security breach in real time, and unauthorized security ensure the data shared between Snowflake accounts is secure. It manages the permissions and access control. The governor user of account can access the shared data, ensuring the data is only shared with authorized entities. Okay, you can security enforce network security models such as VPC, virtual private cloud configuration. So there is a concept called VPC. Okay, you can create your virtual private cloud for data secured between the Snowflake and the cloud provider. And the last one is result cache. Okay, what is result cache? Okay, when I have executed the query for the first time, whatever the results that I get, right, it will be stored in the VMs, sorry, in the result cache. Okay, so next time if I'm executing the same query, the data will not extracted from the storage layer. The data will be extracted from the result cache. Okay, so this cache will be stored up to 24 hours. Okay, if you are using time functions like current timestamp or random in the select query, this cache, it will not pick the data from cache, it will pick the data from the storage layer. So last one is metadata. So as highlighted before, the data will be stored in the storage layer, nothing but the S3 bucket or blob storage or GCS bucket. Okay, those table information or structure related things will be stored in this metadata. Metadata will have the information about the number of records in the table, column names, okay, range of the columns, all the information will be stored in this metadata. Okay, so yeah, let me go with the storage layer. As highlighted before, okay, whatever the data I'm inserting, those details will be inserted in the S3 bucket, which means, okay, assume this is a my Snowflake account. Okay, this is the cloud provider. Okay, so cloud provider also, they are providing two services. One is VM, a virtual machine, and as well as this is the storage service. Now whatever the data, I have created a table. Okay, the table information will be stored in the metadata. If I create any table, right, that information will be stored in this metadata. Okay, now if I am inserting any record, okay, with the help of this VM, I will insert the records into the storage layer. Now assume I have created a database. Okay, database is a, assume this is a folder. I have created a database called X. This is a folder. Now in the database, I have created a table called customer or cust. Okay, this is a table cust, nothing but a cust folder. Now, now whatever the data I'm inserting, the data will be stored in the form of micro partitions. Whatever the data I'm inserting, that will be stored in the form of smaller file, that we call it as a micro partition. Okay, each partition will have blocks. Okay, in the each block we have a column information, nothing but this block will have ID, this block will have name. Like that, the data will be stored in the form of blocks. Okay, this format, this we call it as a columnary storage. Each column will be stored in a particular block. So whatever the data I'm inserting into the Snowflake, that will be stored in the form of columnary format. So this is a hybrid columnary storage block. Okay, data stored in the database storage layer is kept on AWS S3 or the cloud provider you choose when you create your account. Maximum capacity of Snowflake database depend on the storage capacity of AWS, which is unlimited. Hence, Snowflake database capacity is unlimited. How much data I can insert into this table is infinity. Okay, whatever the data, how much, what is the maximum storage capacity of this Snowflake? So Snowflake is depending on this cloud provider. What is the storage capacity of this cloud provider? Infinity. So I can insert infinity of data. So there is no limit for insertion. Snowflake manage all aspects of how the data is stored, including the distribution, comparison, and metadata storage, to the name a few. So whatever the data, how how many files are there, what is the count of this, what is the range of this particular block value. All this information will be available in the metadata. Okay. So this is how it works. This is on top of this there will be a Snowflake account, and below that there is a VMs to process the data from storage layer to the Snowflake account. And whenever I'm executing this query, so with the help of this VM, we will process the data from this storage layer. Okay, as highlighted before, I'm inserting that data into a table in the form of row, and it will be stored like this. Okay, all the data will be stored in the form of columnary format. Okay, and this we call it as a micro partition. Each micro partition will have the blocks. So all the column information will be stored in the form of blocks. Clear? Any doubts up to here?
Nothing as of now.
Yeah, clear, right? So I
Mm.
think it's going cool, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. What is micro partition? Data is divided into micro partitions, which are contiguous unit of storage. These partitions are automatically created and managed. You don't have to define them. Who is creating this micro partition? It is taken care by Snowflake. So we are not involving for creating these micro partitions. We are not giving any instruction how to create this file. So everything will be taken care by Snowflake. Next, columnary format. Snowflake stored in a columnary format. See here we are storing columnary data. Okay. This allow for higher efficient compression and faster query performance, especially for entity overloads. So if we are storing the data like this, right? See, I want a BA report. Okay, select type comma name from the uh, customer. Okay, assume this is a customer table. Okay, where ID equal to some 3 4. Okay, now what Snowflake will do? Okay, I'll show you in the next slide how the query is processed. Okay. So yeah, like this, whatever the data I'm inserting the data in the row format, but in the actuality it is storing in a form of micro partitions, and that too in a columnary format. So each block will have for one particular column information. Data insert into Snowflake reorganized in a columnary format and compressed after when it is stored. Okay. Snowflake table data is stored whenever data is inserted in Snowflake automatically organized into a micro partition. Each typically ranges from 50 to 500 MB. Okay, so of uncompressed data, whatever the data I'm inserting, right? So if first time I've inserted some records, so maximum, what will be the maximum micro partition size is 500 MB. So micro partitions stored by Snowflake are not directly visible or accessible to the data engineer. So like traditional database, you cannot access these files. So you cannot access even that cloud provider account also. Okay, data stored in the table in database storage can be accessed by using SQL query. So if I want to view the data, I need to use a SQL query. Advantages: improve query performance and data retrieval, efficient data compression and storage services, less compute needed for processing some same amount of data. Use of color skip the entire section. Okay, this we'll discuss in the later slide. Okay, and the next one is VMs. Okay, virtual warehouse. Why we use VMs? To process that particular query. To process that particular query, we need a VM. The query processing layer considered as a virtual warehouse. This is an actual process unit of Snowflake. Okay, query execution or SQL execution is performed with the help of virtual warehouse. Okay, if you are choosing AWS, okay, then Snowflake is going to use this EC2, Amazon EC2 for the virtual warehouse. If you are using Azure, it's use Azure VM. If you are using GCP, it is going to use compute engines for processing the particular query. It's like a muzzle of the system. Okay, this warehouse has come up with the sizes. Okay, like it's like a t-shirt sizes. So from extra small to 6XL. So now this has been removed. We have up to 4XL. So nobody's using this VM. So that is the reason they have removed this one. Now we have up to 4XL. Okay, so it's in a t-shirt sizes. Okay, so we will not use every time. We will not use VM. So for creating and alter drop DDL for DDL, right? Uh, get altered up. Sorry. For create, count, all those things we don't require VM. For select, insert, update, delete, copy command, these DDL commands, right? We need the VMs. Okay. It's like a CPU, CPU memory and temporary storage. So VM nothing but this one only, CPU memory and temporary storage. So properly that can be set control automated warehouse. Nothing here. Okay. So Snowflake virtual columns in 10 sizes. Larger the warehouse, more credit it will be consumed per hour. Activity running very large warehouse, my memory compute capacity can be quicker and faster. Okay, so what will be there inside this VM? Okay, as highlighted before. So if you take extra small, this is the processor they are going to provide. If you are taking small, these are the processor they provide. If you are taking medium, these are the processor they are going to provide. Larger the warehouse, larger the VM you will get. Okay, and this amount will be consumed in the form of credits. If you are using extra small, it will be one credit. If it is small, it will be two credits, like that. Okay, what is credit? I will tell you in the next slide. So that's it. So we have a storage layer, so that will be taken care by cloud provider. There is a processing layer that is also taken care by the cloud provider, and there is a cloud service layer that is taken care by Snowflake. This processing layer we call it as a muzzle of the system. This cloud services we call it as a brain of the system. Okay, so this is how the query get executed. Whenever you are executing any query in the Snowflake, right? First, cloud service layer will validate that query. It will do the tuning, okay, everything. And once everything is done, sorry, I'm very sorry. So it will start like this. It first, whatever the query it executed, it will check whether he is authorized or not. Once he is authorized, then it will do the query parsing and optimization. Then it will go to the result cache. It will check whether that result set is available in the Snowflake or not. If it is the query is executing for the first time, then only it will switch on the VM. If that result is already available, the query is already executed and the result set is already available, then it will print the directly it will print the result set. If not, it will switch on the VMs in the AWS. Okay, with the help of the VM, it will go to the storage layer. Whatever the query you have executed, right, that result set will be delivered to your result set. This is how the query will get processed in the Snowflake.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah, yeah, please.
Sir, as you told, like if the result is already found in the cache, then it will not go to the, it will not turn the VM on, right?
Yes.
So if the VM is not on, then on what layer will this authentication and access control will be running?
No, no, no. See, so there is, so as highlighted before, let me go here. As highlighted before, okay, that is removed. Okay, so this employee table, see, Pawn has executed this query. So now it will check whether this Pawn have access on this particular employee table or not. Authentication means now as a pawn I have logged into my account. I have provided the username and password. Okay, those two are valid. Then only I can enter into my Snowflake account. That we call it as a authentication. Next, access control. Now in the console I have executed select star from table name. So now if I execute that query, now Snowflake will check whether I have a privileges on that particular object or not. Then only it will do the optimization, query of parsing and optimization.
Yes, and all of this will also be running on a VM only, na, sir? Like all of
No,
these
no, no, no,
processes.
no, no. This will not run in the VM. These things will be run in the Snowflake account. VM will come into the picture
Sir,
whenever the everything is properly organized. Okay, whenever the Snowflake has the proper plan, then only this VM get activated. So first it will check the first step will be the identification and access control. Second will be the query parsing and optimization. Then it will check the result cache whether that particular result is available here or not. If the result is not available here, then with the help of metadata, like in the metadata we have number of how many files we need to scan. Okay, with the help of this metadata, we'll switch on the VM and we'll scan the limited files in the S3 bucket. Whatever the result I'll get, okay, that will be delivered into your Snowflake result set. Okay, I'll show you with example. Let me log in into my Snowflake account. Okay, now I have given root user and password. So this click on sign in. Now Snowflake will take the other, will switch on the authentication. Okay, it will check whether this user has entered proper username and password. Then I have entered proper username and password. That is the reason I'm able to access my Snowflake account. This is a Snowflake account. Now I'll click on plus SQL file. Okay. Okay, I'll tell you everything now in the later sessions. What is data, how to choose this database and everything. I'll tell you later. As of now, I'm choosing the database 52 and then DWH. Okay. Select star from employees. Okay, so I have executed this query, right? So let me go here. So for executing this query, it takes 732 milliseconds, right? Now if I execute the same query, you can see it has taken 23 milliseconds. Why? Second time, it has taken the results from the result cache. It doesn't take any help from the VM or anything. It directly taken from the result from the result cache, not from the storage layer. Getting it right?
Yes, yes, got it.
Yeah, whenever I executed the first time, right? What happened? So I log in into my account with the access control. First, it will check this root user having access on this employee object or not. Now I have the access. Then it has done how many files I need to validate. See, the data will be stored in micro partitions, right? So it will not scan all the files. It will scan limited files. So how many files it need to be scanned? It will check with the help of this metadata manager. If the query is executing first time, it will switch on the VM and it will go to the storage layer. What are the files that metadata has given? Those files will be picked up and it will be delivered into the result set. When I'm executing the same query again, this result already stored in the result cache. If I'm executing the same query, the data is directly printing from the result cache. It is not using any VM or S3 bucket. Clear? So any doubts? So that's it. So this is the architecture, Snowflake architecture. So we have three layers. One is cloud service, another one is storage layer, and the third one is VM. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. So let me register the Snowflake account. So before registering that, there is a few terminologies you need to understand in the Snowflake. So that I will highlight, then I'll register the Snowflake account. Okay. Okay. Snowflake come up with four editions. One is standard, enterprise, business critical, and VPS. Okay. So let me register. So go to Snowflake. Now we call it as a Snowflake A data cloud. It's not a data warehouse anymore. It's a A data cloud. Done. Then let me register. Start for free. Let me give my details. Pawan, Bantu, my email. I'm a student. Continue. Okay. You see here. If you see here, so there are only three editions, but in the Snowflake document they have provided four editions. Why? Because because the fourth edition, if you require this virtual private Snowflake, right, you need to contact the support team. You need to contact it through the chat and they will set up this virtual private Snowflake. Coming back, so what are these four editions? What are the differences we have? So standard is like a limited edition. Sorry, so most of the companies will not use this standard because this standard will not come up with a time travel, nothing, but it will not maintain any backup. It maintain the backup for one day. Okay, and there is a very limited, there are a lot of limitations in the standard edition. So if you feel your data is not that much sensitive or that much not important, then you go with the standard edition. It's like for building small static websites, okay, where that content doesn't matter, then I use this Snowflake. Next, I have an enterprise edition. Okay, so this enterprise, most of the companies will use this enterprise edition. So it has everything like, let me go further. Yeah, you can see here. So in the standard edition, okay, you can create a data warehouse. There is no time travel. There is no encryption. There is no network policies. Okay, but here you have everything. Okay, here you can create the data security policies where there you can create a time travel. Here you can use only single warehouse. Here you can use multi-cluster warehouse. So here you can create materialized review, query acceleration, periodic rekeying, so that data encryption rekeys will change every time in the enterprise edition. Okay, so that is the difference between standard and enterprise. When it comes to business critical, so this will be chosen by the bankings and the insurance companies. Why? This business critical edition will follow HIPAA policies. Okay, it support PHA data according to the HIPAA policy, support PCA DSS, support the private connectivity to the Snowflake services using AWS private link. So if you are using this enterprise, right, it will be shared link, but here it is using private link one to one with the AWS and the Snowflake. So that is the reason. So if you want more data security or more security policies, then business critical will be the preferable one. And the last one is this virtual private Snowflake. So government agencies like FBA, defense, so all these things. So they cannot depend any software or hardware component on any third party. That is the reason they choose VPS. So for VPS, so they need to contact the Snowflake team. Okay, they will send a huge billing, like it's a very costly. They may charge you around 10 to 20 crores. Okay, so they will pay that amount, and these guys will go to their account and they will install the Snowflake on their virtual private VPS servers. Okay, so these are the four things. Okay, as highlighted before. So you need to choose the cloud provider. This cloud provider is completely related to Snowflake account, so you cannot access these cloud accounts. Okay, let me go back. I'm selecting the enterprise and I'm selecting the AWS. While practicing, choose AWS. Why? Whatever the new features that Snowflake is inventing, first they will deploy on the AWS, then only they will implement on the these two. Okay, that is the reason. So if you want to work to check the new features, you need to go with the AWS only. And again, here we have a region. This region we will discuss later. As of now, I'm selecting the Singapore. I have read the thing. Get started, skip, and then skip. So I'll receive an email. It takes some time. Okay, just required some time. We need to wait for a few minutes. Okay. Okay, you can register n number of times. Okay, you don't need to worry. So there you can register n number of times, but each account will come up with 30 days free trial. So you cannot use after 30 days. So to practice here, they are providing around $400 worth of free credits. So you can use those credits for practicing purpose. Okay. So yeah, that's it about the Snowflake registration part. Let me go further. Before getting the mail, I'll going to explain few other things. Okay, we'll discuss about these credits. Okay, so whatever the queries you are executing, those will be consumed in the form of credits. Here, Snowflake is come up with pay as you go model. So that is the reason whatever the query execute that will be consumed in the form of credits. Snowflake credits is a unit measure used to pay for the consumption of resources on Snowflake. It is consumed only customer is using resource such as when are using virtual warehouse. Okay, user receive $400 worth free using upon creation of Snowflake free trial account. Done. Okay, now we'll go with the pricing. Okay, how this pricing will be calculated? Okay, so what is the pricing model? So Snowflake will charge us for the four features. So for these four features, they are charging us What are the four features they are charging? One is storage cost, second one is compute cost, third one is cloud services, and the fourth one is a data transfer cost. So these are the four types of cost we have there in the Snowflake. So we'll discuss one by one. One we'll discuss about the storage cost. In the storage, I have two options. One is on-demand storage, second one is capacity storage. By default, so we are in on-demand storage. Okay, on-demand storage means whatever the what we call whatever the data I'm using, right? I'm going to pay for that particular storage only. Okay, so here the price will vary. See, so cost per TB is $40 per month. Okay, if you are using 100 GB, then you are going to pay $4 per month. If you are using 800 GB, you are going to pay $32 per month. Okay, for this capacity storage, you need to again contact Snowflake team. So I know my data is fixed. Okay, then you go with the capacity storage. Here you are going to pay very less when compared to on-demand storage. Okay, so when we need to use on-demand storage, when we need to use capacity storage. Okay, if you are no your data will be 1 TB or 2 TB, then go with the capacity storage. When you don't know, right, so how much data I'm going to store, I don't have any idea, then you need to go with this on-demand storage. Okay, so if you compare, okay, if you are using little storage, right, little storage, okay, so if you see here, cost per TB is $23, but here it is a sorry, here it is 23, here it is a $40. So you have working with capacity storage, but if you are using 100 GB, right, you need to pay $23. But if you see here, for 100 GB, here you are going to pay only $4. For smaller data, go with the on demand. For proper information data, just go with the capacity storage. When you are not sure about your data size, start with on demand storage. Once you have some idea, switch to capacity storage. Okay. Next, we have a compute cost. Generally, whatever the Snowflake credits consume, right? 80% of credits will be consumed for the VM only. So most of the bill I'm paying is for the VMs. Okay, when I'm using this VMs, okay, for insertion, updation, and deletion of data in Snowflake. Compute cost is measured in terms of Snowflake credits or consumes, not in dollars. So here we are measuring the credits in the we are measuring the amount in the form of credits, not the dollars. So what is this credits? Okay, so if you see here, so based on your cloud provider, based on your region, you are going to your pricing policies will vary. So we cannot put for every user we cannot show different values. That is the reason. So AWS will charge in the credits. How what is one credit equal to? That one credit equal to, if you are using AWS and then Mumbai, so this one credit equal to $3 because I'm using enterprise, right? If I'm using business critical, one credit equal to $4. And this is my storage capacity. So I'm paying per TB, I'm going to pay $23. Okay. If my locations varies, right? If I go to the Middle East or Europe, then this price will vary. So 23 became 39. So based on the location, based on the cloud provider location on your version, this price will get vary. So that is the reason. So to make everything easy, so they are going to charge you in credits. So one credit equal to, so based on your cloud provider location and the edition, they are going to consume your data. So higher the version, greater the credit per cost. Standard edition cost per credit is $2. Enterprise edition cost per credit is $3. Business critical edition cost per dollar is $4. For versions, you need to reach out the Snowflake for pricing. Okay, done. So this is how it charges. So if you are using one extra small server, okay. So if you are using on standard, it will be $2. If it is on enterprise, it's in $3. Like that, one credit equal to $3. If I'm using business critical, one credit equal to $4 for extra small server per hour. I'm going to pay this. Okay, data transfer cost. So from outside to Snowflake, okay, from outside to Snowflake, right? I'm not going to pay anything. From Snowflake to outside, I need to pay transfer cost because This transfer cost is charged by the cloud provider. Whatever the AWS or Azure is charging, same will be transferred to your uh, credits. Okay, cloud service cost. So you already know, right? We have a cloud service cost. So these cloud services are provided by Snowflake. So what Snowflake will do, whatever the credits you have, right? So see, I'm using $100, right? So Snowflake will add 10% commission on top of the $100. Okay, that $100 you are going to pay for the AWS or Azure or GCP. So because so you are using here the storage and the service layer, sorry, storage and the VMs. So the $100 is going to be paid to the cloud provider. On top of that $100, there will be a $2 to $3, right? That you are going to pay for the Snowflake. So this Snowflake will charge 10% on the daily compute usage. Whatever the bill is generating, right? On top of that, Snowflake is going to charge 10%. Okay. Next, data transfer cost. Snowflake apply data transfer cost if data is stored in transform out of the Snowflake. If you are transferring the data out of Snowflake, then definitely you need to pay the cost. The process of transferring data is also called as a data egress. Okay, running select on Snowflake does not acquire data transfer cost because data does not leave Snowflake. If data Snowflake leaves Snowflake to be used in a repeated data transfer cost will be applied. So overall, these are the four costs we have. Okay. So these are the pricing policies that Snowflake is following. So any doubts? Still, I didn't receive the mail. I need to wait few more minutes. So before that, I'll continue here. It takes some time. Okay. So you'll get a mail like this. Activate your Snowflake account. Click to activate. Okay. So if you click on this activate button, right, it will ask you to create root user and password. You can create the root user and password, and there will be a link here. With the help of this link, you can log in into your account. That's it. Okay. Very simple. So we'll wait until few more minutes for validating this. Let me go here. Okay. So once I have provided my user ID and password, it will send again one more mail that your account is activated. This is the username and this is the URL to access your Snowflake account. Okay, click on that link, log in with your ID and password. Okay, this is my worksheet. We call it as a work area. Mm, okay. So previously, like Snowflake, every time it updates a lot. Okay, now it has introduced so many features. Okay, so in the Snowflake, not only SQL, you can use Python, Snowpark, like that. You have a number of things. So where we will write the queries for executing the SQL, right? So I use the SQL file. So to execute Python scripts, I use this Python notebook. Okay, this is the Python notebook where I can write my Python code. Okay, and so there is a notebook option like Databricks. In how we have in the Databricks, in the similar way, we have this notebook option. Okay, let me create the notebook. This notebook is helpful for data transformations as well as for building AML models also. So this is the notebook where you can write both SQL and Python queries. So here you need to select SQL and run it. You will get the result. So you can execute everything at a time, or you can use a block code. So I'm executing block code. Okay, this is a SQL. Okay, so you can execute the Python as well. So click on here, the Python script will get executed. Like that, I can execute a block of codes. I can delete these what we call the cells. Okay, so I can execute everything at a time. Run on. So all these all these cells will get executed and it will print the result. This is how this notebook will work. These things will not covered in our current course. So if you are planning to build application with the Snowpark, or if you want to build AML models, Chennai and all those things, you need, so then you definitely work on these notebooks. In our current course, we are going to discuss about only the SQL and Python worksheets. SQL we use for writing the SQL code, and Python for the Snowpark pipelines. So these two we are going to use, and this notebook is for creating the Streamlit applications. Okay, this is Streamlit where you can build AML models, and there is a Git repository for connecting it. Now this guy is providing Postgres instance. Why? For the OLTP or for the data mart. So Postgres is the one of the powerful database we have in the current market. Okay, where by using Postgres you can do a lot of things. Okay, most of the times why we use this Postgres for creating the OLTP databases, we use this Postgres instance. But in my according to me, this Postgres is not a preferable one. Mm, mm. Let me create an instance. Okay. Mm. Connection details with instance use the below connection to the database. Postgres create network, enter IP address individual or I need to check this. But for OLTP databases, mostly we use Postgres database. Inbuilt Snowflake is providing hybrid tables. Okay, either you can use hybrid tables or you can create this Postgres instance for OLTP purpose. So OLTP is like transaction databases. So when it comes to Snowflake, it's a data warehouse or OLAP database. So both are completely different. For transaction purpose, we can create this Postgres. Okay, let me come back again. So that's about Postgres instance for where mostly we use for the OLTP purpose. Okay. Next we have a dashboards where you can create a custom dashboards. It's like similar to Power BI, but you don't have that many features. You can create a simple simple graphs on this dashboard. Okay. Next, we have a tables of so where you have multiple tables in Snowflake. This we'll discuss in the later class. We have the stage, and then we have views. We have different views like a secured view, standard view, okay, materialized view. All those things we will discuss in the later class. Next, go to the ingestions. So here we have options to load data from multiple source system to the Snowflake. With the help of this connector, you can load or you can do migrations easily. Next, we have options for transformations. Here we have option for DBT project, dynamic tables, and this task. Task is nothing but a scheduler. Okay. So this we'll discuss in the later class. And then we have option for AML. So for building these Streamlit applications, this AML will be helpful. My system is not supporting for executing these queries. Okay. And then there is a AM model to build genetic AI models, evaluations, everything related to AI. You use these options. Then we have option for monitoring. So in the monitoring, you have a query history. Whatever the queries I execute in the daily rate, not only me, all the users, whatever the users are available, those will be tracked. Those will be tracked here. So this will be helpful for auditing purpose. Okay. This is query result, and there is a services and jobs. So jobs executing, then traces and logs. So any suspicious activity happen in the database that will be traced here, and the performance explorer. So these are all monitoring purpose, and then we have a marketplace where you can import the public data. Okay, or you can sell your data into the Snowflake marketplace. So this is like getting a multiple information from the other source systems. Okay. Next we have the catalog. In the catalog, we have all the databases details. Struck again. Okay, let me go to the catalog again. In the catalog, you can see all the database details. Okay, if you click on here, okay, so here there is option for creating the databases. Okay, so if I click on database, I can create a schema here. So schemas available in this particular database. If you click on the schema, you can find the tables of other the schema related objects here. The tables, file formats, everything will be available here. You can click on and you can create database objects directly from this catalog. Okay. Next, we have data sharing, internal and external sharing. We have governance and security. Okay, so here you can find the users and roles, and there is a trust center. There is a network policy where you can create data masking policy and all those things here. Okay, this is about origin, and here we have a compute where I can create my virtual warehouse in this warehouse option. Array. And then we have a Postgres as highlighted before. This has new feature added in this current year. Like in the January only this option is added for OLTP as well as data mart creations. And then we have admin where you can see the cost management, account management, billings, terms and integrations. Okay, this is my warehouse creation. Down the arrow, there is a settings option where you can change the theme. Okay, this is for contacting the support team. Okay, now I'm in this current account. These are all my previous accounts I'm using. Okay, and then connecting tool to Snowflake, API and support, client download documentation. So this is the documentation that Snowflake is providing. Connect tool to Snowflake. Here I can find my account details, Snowflake account details. So this is my identifier, sharing detail, organization name, account name, all those things you can find it here. And then this is my credits. In the $400 credits, I have used already 70 credits. So 30 days trial, I have already completed 20 days. And then session details. So here I can see my current session and all those things, the session ID and all those things. Coming back, let me check again. Did I receive the mail or not? Let me go back. Inbox. No, I didn't receive the mail. No. Fine. I'll check. Okay, it's not coming again because I have registered multiple times. It may be the reason. It's taking a lot of time for receiving it. No problem. So we'll connect tomorrow and we'll see. I'll register one more time and I'll show you. Okay. Thanks on. We'll connect tomorrow. So any
Thank you.
doubt in the Snowflake? Hello. Do you guys have any doubts?
No, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Tomorrow we'll start the sequel. Okay. We'll connect tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.